All right, hello and welcome to tonight's weather video. I think with what's going on, we're going to be doing this for a while, or a couple of days at least, because we're going to have active weather. Unfortunately, looking like more and more likely we're going to see a winter storm for Sunday, and we're going to talk about that as well. So, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to be suppressed now. It's unfortunately, well, we're going to go over all of that. I know last night I was tired, so we're going to go over things in a little more detail right now. You can see the clouds streaming in, and we did start the day with sun, but then we had some high clouds mixed in. Though they were pretty at times. It's a cirrus here. Some blue sky in between, and some pretty clouds. And then the clouds kind of thickened as it got towards sunset with some lower stratocumulus in there as well. Today was the day, and you could see the Arctic air extreme cold watches and warnings in effect here. You can see that's also going to be going for Friday evening through Saturday afternoon. And in this area, it's going to start sooner than that, Friday morning. And then we have winter storm watches already. This is going to probably be extended into our area starting tomorrow, and also extreme cold watches as well, because we got this Arctic air coming, though it's not coming down as far as we were hoping, which would have pushed this storm to the south. It's not doing that. Let's first talk about today's weather and the frigid morning we had. Today was a little bit warmer. It's definitely warmer tonight. Temperatures are rising because we have a warm front moving through. So you can see that warm front right there. That's about ready to move through. Temperatures have risen quite a bit. I think we're at our highs for the day right now, considering what it was like this morning. Because it looks like Islip got down to 9 this morning. Of course, the alley didn't even make it into the teens, so I didn't get to experience any of that. But there was radiational cooling this morning. The winds went fairly light to calm, and it looks like Islip got into some radiational cooling. It was in the teens last night, and it got down to 9 degrees in the morning. The alley only got down to like 22 or 23, and that was it. But you can see, yeah, pretty cold. Pretty cold with radiational cooling in the morning. Definitely got pretty cold there, and I'm kind of feeling Westhampton's going to be even colder than that. So it was cold, and then during the day, the temperature started slowly increasing as the southwest winds. We got above freezing by the afternoon, and tonight we're getting close to 40 degrees. It's 42 in the alley right now. So let's look at the highs. Let's look at the lows on the map first, because, yeah, take a look at Westhampton. How about 4 below? So I had a feeling the Pine Barrens were going to get below 0 last night, and they sure did. 4 below, 7 at Shirley, 9 at Islip. Farmingdale got down to 10. LaGuardia got down to 19, so that's close to what my alley got down to, because I'm living in an urban hellhole. 17 at Central Park. And let's take a look at Toms River. So west of Toms River, it got down to 0. So Westhampton did wind up beating Toms River, even though it was initially higher. Once the winds dropped, a little more snow in Westhampton, so it dropped even lower than that. But you see a lot of areas in Jersey got down to the single digits. I wish I could have enjoyed that, but that didn't happen for me. And then high temperatures, again, the current temperatures are the high temperatures. We'll take a look at Westhampton right now, because, wow, what a range. They're up to 40, but they got down to 4 below this morning at Westhampton. Wow. That's very impressive. So let's take a look and see what happened last night. So once we got after midnight and the winds dropped at Westhampton, the temperatures dropped like a rock with those dew points below 0. Didn't take much for temperatures to drop into the single digits, and then hovering around 0 for much of the night, and then going below 0 after 6 in the morning. So, yeah, that's some pretty impressive radiational cooling right there that they got. Very impressive, I might add, at Westhampton. So I had a feeling we would have that. Now, if you look at the top of Stony Brook, it only got down to 15 because they're higher up. But that's still colder than my alley. That alley just doesn't, there's no wind. The alley is just not going to cool down at all. That's what it is. It was still plenty cold last night. It's not like you'd want to open the window. That's for sure. So let's take a look at the models now, and we'll also take a look at our statistics for Islip. I don't think we have any record reports. We don't have any record lows here. But we will look at the low, reported low at Islip, 8 degrees there, which is a full 16 degrees below normal, and we were 10 degrees below normal for the day. So yeah, quite chilly for sure. But now we are seeing those temperatures increase, and if we go and we widen this map out, you'll see where the cold air is going to start coming in. You can already see the temperatures already dropping to 0, and they're going to drop even colder in this area here. It's going to be really absolutely frigid once that all comes together. So let's take a look and see what we got going on with the weather here, and it all boils down to, I'm going to just pull this up to the North American view again and show you what the upper air here. Actually, I probably could show you the jet stream, so we'll just show you the upper air. All right. So it all boils down to the blocking not being as strong as originally forecast. So therefore, it's not pushing the cold front through. You can see there's the trough for Friday. It's not going as far south as it normally would. Now, if we again look at the old run from Sunday night, you can see it goes further south. Here's Saturday, and then here's today. So you can see definitely it's not a big difference, but it's enough to allow that storm to occur, and that energy for that storm is in the Pacific right now. If we can look at the CONUS view, maybe we can actually see it. Not really, but it's just coming on shore right there. So that's the energy that's going to be for this storm, and the storm is going to affect a lot of areas, and I mean a lot of areas. And you can see that swath of winter storm watches going across much of the country. All right. So here we are on the GFS, and there's that bit of energy there. So you have that energy. There's the trough that would come through from that, generating the coastal storm. All right, so here we go. There's that energy. So track the energy here. All right. So that energy kind of gets into a southern stream. All right. And again, that block is not as strong as originally thought. So that storm, instead of going to the south, it's going to get picked up here and go pretty much throughout much of the country, pretty much from, say, New Mexico all the way up to the northeast, this storm. And then you can see there's a block in green. It's strong, but it's not strong enough to push it farther south. And then behind that storm, we are in a cold pattern because that block stays. So whatever snow we get is going to be sticking around for a while. And it's looking a little more like at least a moderate and maybe even a heavy snowfall at this point. I'm not going to put out a map yet, but I would say prepare for at least 6 to 12 inches of snow from this. Now, we're going to look at the European model here. Are there any subtle differences here? And you can see, again, we're looking at the upper air. So you can see that trough lifts out. We get a little bit of ridging. All right. Well, then here comes this batch here, this next Arctic front coming through with the trough. And you can see it doesn't go far south. Then that's the issue. So it's not going to suppress the storm. Here's the storm right here. And instead it gets picked up and moved along up to the northeast. All right. So let's take a closer look here at the surface. And the models keep trending north with this storm. So here we go. Tonight, there's a slight chance of a shower, a snow flurry, not really much moisture involved. Tomorrow is our 1 mild day where it'll get above normal, and then temperatures start dropping on Friday with the Arctic front that's going to come through. Here comes that high, but you'll notice again that high doesn't go straight south. It kind of goes over to the north, and then it kind of that's it. That's as far as it's going. Saturday will be dry and very, very cold, colder than it was yesterday. And then clouds will probably increase, and then here comes that storm system here. And you can see it keeps tracking further to the north now. It's got to change over to rain for our area. But you can see a pretty major thump of snow that's going to occur Sunday ahead of this, and then there's going to be a changeover. So that might actually wind up limiting totals. And we'll have to see if this keeps shifting north. It seems like it keeps shifting north with every run of the European a little bit. So again, that high in that the push of air, it's very cold air, but it's just not going to go far to the south, enough to the south to suppress this huge storm. And there's going to be ice too in parts of the south, I guess you could say. Well, I don't think we'll have to worry about that, but there is some cold air, and I'm a little concerned about that as well. We're going to be talking about this storm for a while. It finally gets out of here on Monday, and then we get into some frigid winds. You see those isobars tight, and that's going to be a cold wind behind that storm, let me tell you. And then the winds kind of die down by Tuesday. So if we look at the total accumulated precip, remember, we can't see snowfall in the European. This kind of just shows you the track of the storm here. Okay? And it's cold air that's coming in. So if we look at the temperature anomaly chart, you'll see follow this cold air that's going to be coming in. It's bitterly cold. But it doesn't go that far to the south, but it is very, very cold air. It does make it over Texas. It does make it over there. And then the storm comes, and you can see how it pulls up some warmer air. And then once the storm leaves, we're going to be back into some absolutely frigid weather once again. I mean, this is real Arctic air, like the polar vortex. Like, first of all, we haven't had a big snow or decent sizable snow since in like what 3 or 4 years. And this is going to be the coldest air we've seen since the polar vortex, because it's going to prepare for everything to freeze over afterwards, and the snow will not go anywhere. That's why I'm hoping it won't be a tremendous amount of snow, because if it's a tremendous amount of snow, it's going to be hard to get around to walk around the Pine Barrens, because the snow isn't going to go anywhere. So we'll have to see what's going to happen. So this is what the European is showing on this run. Now we're going to go to the GFS, which is also the 18Z run. We'll go to the surface. And again, you see that high pressure there. GFS seems a little bit stronger with that high pressure and keeps the storm to the further to the south, which would keep us all snow. And you can see here, this actually seems like it shifted a little south again on the GFS and keeps us all snow, which would mean higher totals, but less mixing in a drier, more powdery snow. And it's also slower with the storm. It gets it started Sunday morning, and it doesn't really end until later Monday. So GFS definitely slower. GFS has been pretty inconsistent and wobbly. So I tend to prefer the Euro for its consistency, for that matter. Those are, again, the models that we can look at right now as far out. We do have the Icon as well. Don't have the 0Z one, but we can look at the 18Z run. And you see there's that big high again, and Icon really gives us a real, again, it changes Jersey over, but it has us staying in the snow for the whole thing. So that could be, again, a foot of snow perhaps for Long Island there with that particular setup. So you see the models kind of have disagreements. Canadian, let's go to the Canadian here. Canadian also, like the Europeans, trying to pull it a little further to the north now. Okay, so let's go and we'll look at these models and take a look and see what these models are painting over our area as far as how much snow we would get. Very preliminary. Let's go to the Canadian first, and you can see it gives us, again, close to 10 inches of snow. Can't look at the European, but let's go to the GFS. GFS, being that it's further south, it has the heavier totals to the south, so the 10-inch amounts would be over southern New Jersey, and we would probably see 5 to 8 inches with that GFS track, which I don't know if I'm necessarily buying at this point. But it could go either way. It could go further south. It could go further north. These models are going to keep going back and forth because the energy hasn't even come on shore yet into the Pacific that makes the storm. So that's the thing. And it's you have the Arctic air. You have a collision between the Arctic air and this storm that we have. So those are the two models we can look at here as far as snowfall totals go. Let's go to windy.com, and we can actually look at windy.com as well, which would show us the Europeans' snow output. Ventus Sky actually has the European now, I believe, too. So it only shows snow cover. It doesn't show snowfall, I don't think. Yeah, all right, we'll just go to windy. So go to new snow, and then we move this over. We'll move this all the way out to Monday. So this is what the European is showing. You can see it's showing 9, perhaps 8 inches of snow before any changeover would occur. The changeover, if you get a lot of snow and then it changes over, it's going to make it wet and icy, and that's going to really be a pain in the neck. That's the issue we have. So, again, this is the storm. It's really cold air. It's kind of hard to believe that it would change over. We'll have to keep watching the track, of course. At this point, what's very interesting though is you go to that and then you go to snow depth, and this is another thing we could use here kind of show us the snow depth. It's much lower, the snow depth amounts. So, but I'm not sure. I'm not really buying these numbers. These are way too low, the track that the storm is given. But we're going to have to see. The storm is a ways out. So give you an idea of what we have, but definitely think we're going to need some type of winter storm warning for this storm. So winter storm watch. Expect that to be issued very shortly. Probably by tomorrow or so, people can prepare. We haven't had a decent snowfall in a long time. We're actually long overdue for it. I was just hoping it would occur after or toward the tail end of this Arctic air outbreak that we're going to have this pull, because the snow ain't going to go anywhere. As you know, even that little bit of snow we've had hasn't melted at all because it's been cold, and it's not going to go anywhere for a while. So let's go look at the HRRR, the dew points and wind flow for tomorrow. And you can see we have a southwest wind, and yeah, I got furnace exhaust because of it. Luckily, the winds go a little more westerly tomorrow. Well, west-southwest, but hopefully maybe westerly enough that I don't have to breathe furnace exhaust. And then you can see that the west winds bring in, so we have this little front coming through. It's going to bring in drier air. Again, the dew points drop again after coming up tonight. And then here it comes for Friday. And that Arctic air is going to be in actually probably by the afternoon. The HRRR seems to be moving it pretty quick. So that's some pretty, you can see how low those dew points are, below zero. And the temperatures, well, they're going to be pretty cold too. So tonight, don't expect temperatures to drop too much. And then tomorrow, one day where we can thaw out and maybe melt some of the snow before we get more of it. So you might even be able to have bare ground, perhaps if you're in New Jersey, especially. Here, I'm not so sure. Tomorrow night, the temperatures will drop into the probably below freezing, and maybe some radiational cooling perhaps if the skies stay clear. I'm not sure. We're probably going to have plenty of clouds. And for Friday, we're going to maybe start out near freezing, but the temperatures aren't really going to go anywhere. And then by Friday night, yeah, we're down into the teens by Friday night. It's going to drop very fast. And then we look at the European model just to go a little further, just to give you an idea of the cold weather we're going to have. And then that cold air comes in. Temperatures by Saturday morning could be around zero. And then Saturday, we are going to struggle to make to the mid-teens. I don't think anyone sees 20 on Saturday, especially if there's going to be increasing clouds. We can look at the European for soundings on that. Of course, this is a very rough estimate, but you can see some upper level moisture. It could be a high overcast, so if that blocks the sun, it's just going to make it that much colder. So that's what we have for you. And right now, it's very preliminary as far as sky cover goes, as far as clouds go. I was hoping maybe Saturday we'd have some sunshine. Because if we don't, it's going to be pretty damn cold. So if we look at Saturday, you can see it kind of just gets stuck there. The front, it doesn't really make it too far south. And there could be a lot of clouds from lake effect, too, as well. You see trying to make it into our area as well, if that cirrus wasn't there. Let's go to the RGM now. We'll look at, we'll go over the precipitation tonight as well, but let's go over to this first. So tomorrow, have some clouds tonight, and then tomorrow we'll have sun mixed with some patchy high cloudiness probably. And then for Friday, you could see some cirrus off to the south that comes in. And then this goes to Saturday. And this, as far as we got 12Z, shows Saturday at least starting sunny. So, yeah, it may be nice to be in the Pine Barrens, but it's going to be very cold. So I'm going to be at my limit, I think, for the cold for tomorrow. I think it's going to be pretty. I mean, for Saturday morning, it's going to be pretty bad, I think. But it'll be close to my limit as far as how much cold I can take. But we'll see what the pines look like in those kind of conditions. I don't know, but we'll have to see. I'm kind of curious as to what the HRRR would have for. I mean, the HRRR goes out for Friday. I'm just kind of curious. Let me go back to the HRRR for a moment. And it doesn't go out. All right, so here's the HRRR as far as precipitation goes. And there ain't much here. That's why I'm not really making it. There's maybe a spot, very light sprinkles snow. And we're pretty much dry until we get this storm that we have. So if we look at Friday, as far as cloud cover goes, I think we're going to have some cloud cover around. It's showing some cloud cover. We'll have to see if that cloud cover pushes to the south or not. Right now, too early to tell. So that's what I got for you right now. So We hopefully will not get creamed with over a foot of snow, but like some people are saying, but you have to remember that if it does stay all snow, it will be a fluffy snow, but that means there will also be more of it because fluffier snow tends to pile up higher. So right now, I would say just prepare for 6 to 12 inches of snow. It could be more, it could be a little less. I don't think we're going to get away with the storm completely avoiding us. That's not happening because again, the drop in the polar vortex is not far enough south to push the storm far enough south. Even though we have this really cold air, it's not going to make it far enough south to suppress the storm. But we'll see. Cold air, really cold air, tends to suppress storms, which is kind of surprising. The model's kind of running counterintuitive to what we're expecting at this point. But we'll have to see. Things could change. Of course, right now, that's the least likely scenario is that it stays suppressed to the south. I would love that, but I don't think that's what's going to happen this time. And again, we are kind of overdue for it. It just sucks because we're going to get the snow, and then it's not going to go anywhere and sit around for a while. And you know what happens when snow sits around for a while? It starts getting dirty and messy, and that's what I don't like about winter, when the snow kind of sticks around for a while. It's nice for a few days. It's pretty, but then it gets annoying quick. So anyway, that's all I got for you tonight. Have a good night.